Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be talking to you about what $100 can get you in another country. Um, in most third world countries, $100 can get you pretty much anywhere you need and get you anything you want, especially some of the smaller, in particular, smaller countries or less modernized countries in South Africa. However, today we're going to be talking about what $100 can get you in both Mexico and Japan. Um, They tend to be a little more expensive than these third world countries. However, they are, in comparison to America, not as expensive. What can $100 do in Japan? Well, you can get a couple, yeah, probably a couple hundred um, snacks from a convenience store because most of their stuff there, instead of being $3 to $4, as in when in America, like a bag of chips, it could be $2 to $3 in America, where there most of their snacks tend to be less than a dollar, from 50 cents to $1.50 ish, and they sell. I mean, obviously a different variety. However, most of their snacks tend to be cheaper. You can get like 2 nice nights out at a hotel, and most of the space there in Japan is tends to be more limited because they have less space and there's so many people there. I believe it is one of the most populated countries in the world, and it is also just a small island. So most of their spaces are small. So that's why most of their houses, rooms, and even like their hotels tend to be like little cubes or incubators or like just small pods because they have so many people and such less space to house everyone. And so housing there for a nice house or like a nice hotel, is going to cost you a lot more than it would anywhere else because it takes up that much more room. So something we would consider small here and is big to them, and it would just cost more to have that room. You can have a nice night out at a grill and a bar, and that would be like just a nice family outing. Going, like, say you go to a steakhouse or something, that's probably the equivalent, and go out drinking, stuff like that. Um, Another interesting one that I found is that you can get 15 postcards for there, and just it costs you about $100 to get 15 postcards and stamps with them. What $100 in groceries is like in Japan? Well, this isn't necessarily $100. However, a pound of chicken breast there costs about 526 yen, or $3.33. And this tends to be more expensive than what we find in America because, as we'll see later when we're looking at Mexico and the U.S., chicken breast is, I'm assuming, less of a necessity. Is in America we eat it a lot more, and it tends to be one of our main food sources. But they have tend to eat more fish, so it's in stock here and less there, so making it more expensive there. An apple tends to be about $1 to $2, 100 to 200 yen. A carton of eggs is cheaper, being about $2.07. 2 liter of soda is about 201 yen, or $1.27. And a single cut of steak tends to be 2,500 yen, which is $15.81. And again, they tend to eat fish more because they are an island and surrounded by the sea. Um, so steak there, even though they have specialized cows like Wagyu, it still tends to be more expensive because they have to get it imported. Um, what can $100 do in Mexico? In Mexico, there's a lot of things you can do actually with $100, and it was surprising. You can get about 18 good seats at Lucha Libre. You can drink for you can get drinks for the bar. You can get 120 kilos in a taxi. Not kilos, as in you can get 120 kilometers, as in driving in a taxi. You can get 1 night at an all-exclusive resort, 2 nights at a beach hotel, 1 week at a hostel, which is just a motel of sorts, I guess, and a multiple doctor visits there, where doctors here tend to be more expensive and tend to cost people more. There it is not as expensive, seeing as that $100 can get you many doctor visits and checkups. Um, Obviously, hostel is a cheaper, cheaper hotel, something you just stay the night, kind of just a bed for the night. And 120 kilometers in a taxi is definitely really nice for $100, because here you probably won't even be able to get half of that. $100 in groceries in Mexico is about the same. For a pound of chicken breast, you can get it's for a pound of chicken breast is about $4.19 or 72 pesos. For a singular apple, it is about a single dollar or 18 pesos. A carton of eggs, much cheaper there. It's about $2.50 in US dollars and 43 pesos. For a 2 liter of soda, it is $1.63 or 28 pesos. And for a single cut of steak is, I'm assuming because cows are more plentiful there, it is $8.15 for a cut of steak, or 140 pesos. What $100 can do in the U.S. is it can do a lot. You can get about a single theme park ticket for yourself, a week to 2 weeks worth of gas depending on your car, 4 days worth of groceries, a small nice date. You can go bowling with 4 people. You can get about 4 steaks or 5 pairs of jeans. And this is all just done from research from certain Walmarts or bowling alleys. But it's definitely not as much as you would get in Mexico or Japan, where everything tends to be a lot cheaper, and you can probably do 2 or 3 of these things instead of just 1 or 2. A single pound of chicken breast in the U.S. is a lot cheaper. It's about $1.96, $2, and it's cheaper because we have more chickens. We have more land to raise these chickens or cows or stuff that Americans tend to feed off of instead of fish. Even though we do eat fish, it is easier for us to grow chicken or have chickens. A singular apple is about $1.50. A carton of eggs is significantly more expensive, being $5.96. And a 2 liter of soda is $3, and a single steak is about $15.15. The thing that surprised me was that the carton of eggs was almost $6 comparatively to Mexico and Japan, where it was $3. The differences between America, Mexico, and Japan is that they both have, Mexico and Japan may have cheaper lifestyle or a cheaper cost of living. However, you have to consider that they also get paid less, and their jobs may not be as nice, or they may not have a good of quality of living. However, Japan is also known for having a long age gap, and they just don't have the same circumstances as us, but they still do get, for these countries and getting paid less, they still do get a nice quality of life. Costs also may differ, especially considering that they do get paid less and we get paid more. It is more of a comparison wise. Some similarities is that in Mexico and Japan, they may have to work their whole lives, and even in America we have to, but it is, from the research that I've done, significantly easier to retire in America than it is from Mexico. Japan it depends on what you're doing, just like anywhere else. However, it does take quite a lot to do in these countries. And that is what $100 can get you in both Mexico and Japan.